Well, hello and welcome to Woman Talk with my guest today, the glamorous, the number one money expert, Loral Langemeier. Loral, I am so happy that we finally made it today.
Right.
So, viewers out there, we had a few technical difficulties this morning, but you know, all is well. Loral is here. Today, we're going to talk about your relationship with money. Well, what's your relationship with money? Well, Laura's going to share a little bit because everybody has a complex relationship when it comes to money. We know that how we acquire, spend, make money, or manage is largely based on two factors. And one I did a little bit of research is the nurturing you receive during childhood about money and values and the way you organize that information in your mind.
Yeah.
So Loral is the number one money expert. I just love her. She's a sought after speaker. She's been on CBS, NBC, what is his name? Not Donahue. Dr. Phil show. She's been all over. I mean, she's been everywhere. ABC, so they can talk to her about her mission, which is to help people change the conversation about money and empower people, you, around the world to become millionaires. And the one little interesting fact, Loral made her first million at age 34 and pregnant with her first child. So if Loral can do that, honey, me at 82, 83 now, I certainly can make 5 million by the time I'm 85. Okay?
All right.
Loral, you're on, and thank you again for being on the show today.
Well,
I thought all of our viewers.
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions, let us know. And like you said, Barbara, a lot of people do have a very complex relationship to money, but a lot of that relationship is because they were never taught, right? The lack of education is astounding. There actually isn't, I believe, any real proper education. What we're taught is, the traditional 1960s, go, get a job and go to school and get good grades, and that'll get you a job and go get another job. And that's really the only way most people are conditioned with money. So what I'm going to do is teach you how to become an entrepreneur, how to be in a marketplace, which is wide open all the time. And we've been a little constrained. So this online broadcasting is the way a lot of people make money. But if Amazon can do it, I always say Amazon takes 33% of your sale if you want to be a wholesaler. So come to our marketplace where we don't take a percent. It's all your money. And the biggest thing, Barbara, is they have to learn how to make money. And we're not taught that. We're taught that money comes from a job, not from an entrepreneurial venture.
But when people start to think of a word that describes their financial approach, I mean, it's with a lot of fear, a lot of, cautions, and sometimes it's not having a financial plan, or they're just like, well, whatever. And so address some of the things that people can do, because I know the way we organize, and you seem to have been very successful about turning your life around, the way you organize and thought about money in your mind. And to me, it's almost a mindset that money is not evil. We were taught the root of it is money. You remember that? We heard that in our churches. The root of all evil, is the love of money. So many of us were programmed early on with the script about money. But what I was so intrigued about was learning how really that learning and having a relationship with money was built on a lot of past experiences. And we have to get past that.
Yeah, but I think too many people go be in therapy about it. We're not doing any of that. The difference is when you learn to make money, you have to have a different relationship. It's right in front of you, how you make it, how you spend it, how you go into debt. So you can be all up here in what you think about, or you can be here and you can say, I'm going to sell you this, I'm going to sell you this, I'm going to sell you this, and you can serve other people. So the way you really get past that relationship to money is you start making it. And then you start spending it right. I mean, one of the things that we were on the show last week, we talked a lot about is as you learn to make new money right now in this time, and I wouldn't even say until at least Q2 next year, you don't go pay off debt. So it is lack of planning, and you can't plan without education. So I'm going to put education right up there, because right now what you have in your mind is a lot of old, like you said, old stories, old, just, I'm going to say lies. They're not even real, but you don't have anything to compare it against. So right now it's about getting educated, learning to make money. And through that, you'll have a very different relationship to money. But right now you got to get some proper education, which you can see I've 5 New York Times bestsellers like right there. And the biggest one that has been just prevalent during this COVID time is this one. And when you
put it in your pocket.
Yeah, put more cash in your pocket. And a lot of folks who are employed, I say right now is the best time for you to also become an entrepreneur and do the simple stuff. Do the simple stuff. Let me educate you on the simple stuff. How to make money. I have a woman that we just broadcast within the last hour. She is in a direct sales organization of a skincare line, and she made almost $900 in a couple-day period. So we have a very cool marketplace that I put you in, and I train you on what to sell and what to price. And once you start learning to make money, your relationship has to change. Your mindset has to change. Too many people, though, I think all they focus on is their mindset versus a result in your bank account. And that's probably what makes working with me very different. I want a result in your bank account, because then you got to change your mind about it.
Right.
Now you're not broke. Now don't have a plan. Now you have money. So I'm not talking about a big sophisticated business at this moment. We'll get bigger, later. Right now, let's just teach you how to make some fast, easy cash, right? I mean, we got people selling little tinctures. I've got people selling like all sorts of little oils. I mean, whatever it is. I got people selling coffee, wine, expertise. You all have great expertise. There's all something up here. You can sell someone your expertise. Most people, though, Dr. Barbara, they don't have a price or an offer, right? So they don't think that they value themselves enough. And again, that does go back to their mindset about it. They don't feel like they value themselves, and they don't put a price tag on their time or their expertise.
A lot of people will say, well, this is all great, Laurel, that you're saying, but I'm not a salesperson. I may know how to make a product, but I really don't know how to pitch it. I'm just not, I'm a little shy.
Yeah.
I can, do this, and I can bottle this, or I can make these kind of handkerchiefs or whatever. But
I got that. Now, so here's what I'm going to say to those is, first of all, I have a very specific technique that I made up in about 2006-07. It was the actual, where is it? Put more cash in your pocket book. It's not up there right now. I don't know where it went, but put more cash in your pocket. And what we did for years, over a decade, is teach people how to put money in their pocket quick. So I have a technique to do it that is very, very different. So it doesn't matter what personality, what language. I've taught it in all 6 continents except for Antarctica. So it's the only one we didn't go to. It is a proven technology around the world. So I'm going to teach it to you. And as far as being scared of sales, let's give it a different word. What I know about most people is they want to serve. So I'm going to teach you how to serve and make money. Now, in between there might be a sale that takes place, but I'm going to teach you how to put that together in a very different way. And women love it. I mean, my following of really, I have about a 50-50 following, men and women. And, I'm a huge family organization. If you have teenage kids, they've got to come and follow along. And sometimes your kids' ideas are better than yours. So let's go focus on the kids. And I've had a lot of kids become millionaires through, obviously, their family and their parents' help.
One of the things I got a comment from last week's show that, supports what you said earlier about financial literacy needs to be taught throughout the United States. And you prefaced this by saying a lot of people just aren't taught. They don't know. And so a lot of people feel very financially insecure right now. And I just learned that, and I don't want to misquote, that 20 million people will lose their homes to foreclosure next year because of the forbearance banks have given. Can you kind of address that? And I hate to go into that and switch, but what should people be doing?
Making money. You got to make money, and you got to get to our teams. We have amazing teams. I have mortgage experts. I have credit experts. So what happened when the mortgage forbearance came and whether it's rent forbearance, I mean, especially I'll just talk about mortgage because that was really your question, is the misunderstanding because you're not reading the paperwork. People sign paperwork and they don't know what they're doing. So you have got to have an expert help walk you through it. So number one, you got to see what you did to yourself. And the typical forbearance, it looked like this. Let's just say you had $1,000 a month mortgage. So that means you got April without, you got May, June, July, August, September. That means in October, you owed $7,000, right? It wasn't, I'm going to pick it up and go. Most of it, 7. Now, a lot of the banks, because of the election today, right, are being a little flexible, but you are correct. If you do not get this fixed and you don't reorganize that structure, you can refinance it back in. Again, we got some mortgage experts and some credit experts. The other problem is it's on your credit now. So even though you said, yes, I'll sign and I'll pay later, don't you think that the credit they put it on there, they said you went into forbearance, which means if I'm a landlord and I'm a bank or I'm somebody who's going to borrow to you, I know that you're going to use that forbearance in the future because you used it before. It's like a scar you cannot remove. So unfortunately, people don't realize that that wasn't a good thing to do. And there is a way to fix it, though. This is not difficult. There's going to be, I don't care who is elected today, there will be a lot of stimulus coming into the economy, and there are going to be money everywhere. There's money everywhere now. So we need to teach you what to do with it, how to keep your home. And the biggest part of it, when I wrote this book, this was in 2009, Put More Cash in Your Pocket. In 2009 and 10, when that whole round of foreclosures went on, a typical family who lost their home, all they needed to learn, you're ready for this number? All they needed to learn is to make $742 more. $742 would have saved those homes in 2009 and 10.
Wow.
I don't know what the number is today. It's not that big. So I need you in my marketplace, which is this Thursday and Friday. I do them twice a month. We put you in a marketplace. I teach you to make money. You have got to learn this. Because right now, if you say, well, I'm going to go get another job, that's probably not going to happen. So you've got to get to the playing field and become an entrepreneur, save your home.
So this Thursday and Friday, you have a seminar that's coming. How can people access Loral to sign up, and how much is it for your seminar? I know it's not free.
No, so I believe on our link, we did a special link from the last show. I believe we did a 2-for-1 special. So it's $97 to go to our marketplace. It starts on Thursday. It's only $97. And you're going to make hundreds.
Is that 2 people can go for $97?
2 people can go for $97. So the link is right here coming up, askloral.com/Women Talk Live. So that'll take you to Dr. Barbara's link, and that's going to get you 2 people and $97. So if you can't, I mean, I just told you, like Jill made almost $900. I had a woman the month before make $19,000. I've had people make $1,800. So you can easily learn to make $50 in a 2-day workshop with me.
This is great news.
Yeah.
Loral, how long are the workshops? So how much time do you want people to be, is it a Zoom?
Through Zoom. It's through Zoom. And what we do is we put you all together in a room from 10 to 12. Then we put you into breakout rooms with private coaches and strategists to help you get a price and an offer. Then you come back to me from 2 to 4. Then you actually go sell the way I'm going to teach you to do it. So it's 4 hours of real content and probably another 4 hours. So it's a long day Thursday. That's your most important day. Then Friday is like a ramp up day. So I'm back on from 10 to 12. Then we pretty much give you the afternoon to sell. We have staff available. We have strategists available. Some of you are going to be so scared. So we have to take you one-on-one into a room and, figure it out. So, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Yes, it's a big commitment of time, but not really. I mean, how many of you went and got a university degree and you're not using that? You got to learn to make money. So give yourself a little gift for, like 2 of you, share it, $97.
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal. So I'm hoping all of you viewers out there will take advantage of this. Call a friend. I've already called a friend and she's excited to take advantage of this. And remember, if any of you have questions in the chat, please ask Loral while you have her, because she is not always available. And I was really fortunate to get her here during this time, so that if you have questions, you better ask them now, because I'm firing as many as I can think of personally, and in for some other ladies. One of the things that I wanted to know too is, to get past the excuses of, I want to start a business, but I don't have any cash. I don't have money.
Cash. You don't need any cash. I'm just going to answer it. You don't need any cash. I'm going to teach you a way to do complete bootstrapping. You don't need any money other than just get yourself to my workshop on a 2 for $97 ticket. You don't need one thing the way we're going to teach you how to start making money.
Well, Loral, I know that you're tried, true, and tested because I know people who worked with you and they've come away and they've made money. So I know that to be authentic. So for those of you out there, please don't miss this opportunity. Share with your friends. You know, all of us have this relationship when it comes to money, but we're going to learn a new relationship. And I would like to say, be a risk taker, because you have to really get out there and be a risk taker. Would you say?
I'm going to change your, because I'm going to say there's no risk to doing this besides less than 50. I'm going to say be courageous. I'm going to say be courageous. And if you're not going to do this, what are you going to do? You can't just sit out there and keep looking at unemployment ads and think that's going to help you out and sit on, unemployed stimulus packages. At some point, you need to value yourself enough to step up and get there. And I'm the only one I know, because I've done summits for everybody. I've done so many summits. I'm on several summits a week, and I'm the only one that will teach you how to make money at my summit. We're going to design you a really fast 21st century, put more cash in your pocket, and you're going to make some money. And then from then, you're going to have the skills to continue to grow and continue to make money.
So not only
the link, askloral.com/women talk live. But I got to go. But I appreciate you so much for having us jump on. So thank you.
Thank you, Loral. And I'm asking everybody to sign up. And we got the information, and we'll put it across the crossface so people will know how to sign up. I'm taking 2, I know, with me. So bring someone with you.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Absolutely.
Now, the question was, could men get on this? Sure they can.
Of course. Your teenagers can get on. Anybody, any age, anywhere, any place in the world, you can do this.
This is good information. And I really appreciate your taking time, Loral. You're really busy. And thank you so much. We're going to take a little quiz with the listeners who are the viewers who are still there.
Okay.
A few more minutes
to
talk about. But how easy is it to sell professional services like training and coaching in your marketplace, or is it just for commodities? That was the question that Gwen had. But you can ask that question, Gwen, and we can get an answer for you. Okay? You can ask Loral.com if you'd like to get the answer from Loral. Thank you so much, Gwen, for your comment and your question. One of the things I wanted to have, hi, Latrice. Thank you for giving us, little kudos for great information. The time on next Thursday, we will not be on live this Thursday, but we will be next Thursday, and we'll resume a little conversation because we'll probably have a little aftermath to talk about how you found a way to put more money in your pocket. But I'd like for those of you who are still with us today, I want you to take out your pads and pens, because I always say when you come to the chat room, bring your pad and pen. And Gwen, it's 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 11:30 Pacific Standard Time every Thursday that we're on live. So thank you for that question. One of the things that I really, again, want to reiterate, please, I'm going to be at Loral Seminar tomorrow and Friday. Yes, for all means. So join me as we're going to learn how to put more cash in our pockets, or put cash in our pockets. So those of you who are with me, because I thought this would be interesting as we start to look at your relationship with money. Loral's going to teach us how to make money and getting rid of some of the taboos and some of the things we thought about it. But this little quiz I'd like you to take with me today. Number 1, out of the 10 words I'm going to give you, I want you to choose a word that best describes your financial situation. So if you were to think about it, because this was very informative for me. Choose a word that best describes your financial situation. So I hope you got a pad and pen. And I want to remind you, ladies, when you come to Woman Talk, bring a pad, bring a pen, so you can take notes. I'm a note taker. I was taking down everything Loral was saying. Um, One of the first words is open. The next one is generous, systematic, financial plan. This is a word that best describes your financial approach. Are you open? Are you generous? Are you systematic? Do you have a financial plan? Are you flush? Are you cautious? Are you whatever? Are you no plan? Or are you tight? So I'd like for you to choose a word that best describes this is your financial approach. This is how you spend your money. Are you open? Are you generous? Systematic. One word, choose one word that best describes your financial approach. I thought this would be fun to do. And when we talk about finances, and this is a question I pose, how many of you really fall into one of these categories in terms of money? Do you talk about money? Do you talk about it at all with any of your friends? Or is it too taboo to talk about? How many of you, and particularly during this pandemic, and we know that many people are not doing as well, but some people aren't doing very well. So are you filled with fear and worrying about not having enough? Because that causes some people a lot of stress. And talking about your finances, because people do not want to, they don't approach you and say, hi, how are you? Well, tell me about your finances. We don't even want to talk about it. I remember many years ago, I met Susie Orman, and many of you have heard of Susie Orman. She's had this wonderful show for many, many years. I met her many years ago when she was a waitress in a pie shop in Oakland, California. Later on, when I met Susie again, she's a speaker and she is talking about money. She also, money, 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 how to make money. She's all upbeat and she's so exciting. And she saw me and I had a chance to go up and said, oh my God, Susie, happy to see you. And she says, how much debt do you have? How much debt do you have? And that's how she is. She was all in my face. How much debt do you have? Well, do you have start a conversation with an individual and start talking about how much debt do you have? And she was like demanding I get an answer. And I was so ashamed to say how much debt I had because we don't talk about money. And we definitely don't want to talk about how much debt you have. It's almost like, or what's your credit score? And the only people I know who talk about credit scores are people who say, oh, well, I'm in the 800s or I'm 780. But most people don't just start talking about a credit score or talking about how much money do you owe, how much debt. And at that time, I had like 40 some $1,000s worth of debt. I'd gone to school, graduate school. And of course, I'd invested a lot in education. And that's a value because some people, value education and they'll even be saving for their kids' education, or they'll save and invest in themselves for their own education. That's a value system because you value education. Just like if you value religion, you may tithe to your church because that's a value. But when we start talking about finances, I have not been in any conversations with women where we start talking about our finances. And then sometimes we feel like it's self-sabotaging because we spend more than we can afford or we used to. I'm not sure if we're still doing that now. Or we have those who are on the other end of the spectrum. They save so much that they don't even enjoy life because they never spend it, but they have a savings account. And then there are people who have guilt that they're not wanting to exploit fellow human beings, and it leads them to feel guilty about having an abundance. I'm going to have a man come on the show on my God's Hookup show, and you want to, women, you want to segue and look at that show as well. Every Friday, we have guests at 11:30 and 1:30. And I have a man that's going to come on the show that won $100,000, and he gave 50,000 of it away. So we laugh about this. I said, so you were running up and down Venice Boulevard or the streets of Venice, giving out $1 bills, $10 bills, you know. So anyway, we laughed. But the thing about it is, he felt a need not to exploit human need or fellow human beings. He wanted this money. Did he feel guilty about the abundance? We're gonna talk about that. That he gave $50,000 of it away. So what I want to conclude today with was saying everybody has a complex relationship with money. How we spend it, how we acquire it, and it's due to two factors, really. I truly believe. Nurturing that we received during childhood about money and values. And if you think back, you know, a lot of times in my lifetime, we heard money doesn't grow on trees. Where do you think this is going to come from? And the way I organize it in my mind is that we were poor. Growing up later to find out we really were not poor. We were not impoverished. But that's how money was thought of in my household. And so there is that spectrum, that the relationship, your money is on a spectrum. On one end, there's abundance. On the other end can be financial insecurity. So you may be extremely frugal, and you'll find people who are like that, or people who are concerned with their relative scarcity of their means. And then there are some who are just spending. They're very irresponsible about money. And, you know, money just sort of flows out of their hands. But you can begin to look at, and I trust women that you will, explore your relationship with money. What is it? Because when we start talking about relationships, there's relationship with your money, there's relationship with self, relationship with your mom, your sisters, your family, your husband, your mate, your best friend. So there's a lot to explore when we start thinking about relationships. So I want to thank all of you today for listening. And Loral, again, is one of the money experts. And what sets her apart is she is very real about sharing her experiences and her innate ability to hone in on the skills and talents of everyday people to help them not only, but inspire and help them to generate wealth for a better future for themselves and their families. So I want to thank you. And this is voting day. Get out and vote. This is probably going to be a major, major monumental event in history. And so women, let's be a part of that. Sandy, I'm so happy to say that you paid off most of your debt when you retired. And I tell you, I'm so glad that you guys are living comfortably in retirement. A lot of people aren't. And you were very smart. One of the things I think today in the last show that was mentioned by Loral is today, if you have any, you get a large sum of money, don't pay off your debt. Save your cash. We're going to need cash. So Sandy, thank you so very much for that, because really it means a lot to have retirement and to be able to live comfortably in retirement. And this is my friend from Detroit, Michigan. Well, they're sort of outside Detroit, Michigan, but basically they do live well. I have experienced it. So for those of you who are planning, please plan to attend Loral's seminar. I'm going to be there. Okay. When your question is still there, how easy is it to sell professional services like training and coaching in your marketplace, or is it easier? Well, I think you can sell anything. Transformation Success with Television with Dr. Barbara Young, you can sell anything. I'm out there, global in television and radio in more than 100 countries. And I believe if it's possible, you can sell just about anything. The most important thing, I think, is being able to sell you, that you have something of value that people will want. So for all of you out there, and I want to thank my engineer today, my executive producer. Thank you so much out there for making life very comfortable for me today on Woman Talk. So, ladies, stay tuned for next Thursday. And it's going to be after the election, but we're going to have a blowout session because we're going to talk a little bit more about the aftermath of relationships and what some people learned about the relationship with money. But more importantly, what did you learn about yourself and your relationship with money? So I'm going to have a little bit of news that I have, and I'm trying to find my notes. That again, I just want to reiterate that, ladies, we're going to return to our normal schedule next Thursday at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time or 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So share with a sister friend. And I want us to, let's keep talking because the conversation is always better here at Woman Talk. And so I leave you with the principle for today. And I hope that you can write me and let me know at the chat. Ask when my engineer put on the crawl space so people can know the email that if you'd like to ask a question, we have for you. Hi, Sandra Hare. Good to see you. Wonderful. Oh my God, I'm glad to see you. Wow. A voice out of the past. Well, wow. Here's love to you and your dear husband. So when my engineer put up today the email address that you can use to ask me any question, or you can send any comment that you'd like to at ask@womantalklive.net. Ask@womantalklive.net. It'll come straight to me and I'll be able to answer your questions, or I'll find somebody who can answer your question. One of the takeaway principles that I'm giving you today that always work: self-knowledge is your first step to your success. You need to know who you are. You need to know who you're not. That's your first step. So remember, God loves you. I love you. And this is the place to be on Thursday mornings from 10:30 to 11:30. So ladies, remember, let's keep talking because the conversation is always better here at Woman Talk. So again, email any of your questions to ask@womantalklive.net. This is Dr. Barbara Young, signing off until next week. Yes.